It's me, Raj Baddhan here for BizAsiaLive.com. Now, today I am joined by not one, not two, but three amazing stars that have done a lot of work, not just in films, but also TV, and also digital as well. Now, let's introduce you to Arjun Mathur, who's here with me, Shriya Pilgaonkar, Shweta Tripathi Sharma as well.
Yeah.
Hi, how you all doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Shriya, I have to make sure that I pronounce your surname correctly. Was that okay? Was that near enough?
It was more than okay, and more than the
Thank God.
surname, I'm happy that you pronounced my name, my first name correctly.
Yeah, I was just going to
Ex-
say that, that more than that, it's that first name is important because that's what a lot of people get wrong, actually.
Yeah, you didn't do a Shreya on me. You did a
Yeah.
Shreya.
I'm very particular. I'm very particular about names. So yeah, it was Shriya. I know Shriya. But really good to see you. I know you guys have been very busy today promoting the new show on Voot Select, which is the Gone Game. Because we've got three of you here, let's try to get one of you at a time. So Arjun, first of all, how's it been for you today in terms of promotions, the press call that was held earlier?
Today in particular, wow, again, just like the rest of this show, it's something I've never experienced before. This just doing press like this all day. And, let me tell you, I'll be completely honest, promotions are the worst part of of doing what we do. And this has been nice. It's been at home. It's been like, okay, now come sit in front of the computer. We've all got our little home studios set up, and it's fun, and I'm very, very impressed with the way that Voot has actually put together this virtual
Yes.
premiere, and I was quite impressed. I'm well done. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Shriya, how would you kind of call this kind of new norm that we're doing promotions like this, in terms of doing everything digitally? And of course, the show is also quite digital. We'll talk about that in a moment. But how are you finding the promotion side?
Well, even though we hope that this new normal is temporary, I think Voot Select did a fantastic job in trying to give us the whole experience. And considering the show from the conceptual level to its release is all happening in lockdown, it was just fitting that even the press conference would be, a virtual one. And I'm so proud to be part of this because if I'm not wrong, we're probably the only full-fledged series to have come out. I don't know. It seems like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
To be
India,
set.
in India.
Yeah, one to be set within the lockdown and to be shot in lockdown and release within the lockdown is quite a feat, I think.
And we're equally excited to watch it because we haven't seen how it's all come together.
I know. In fact, Shweta, you were mentioning this as well, because just before we went live, you said that there's obviously links that have been exchanged between you guys, between the stars.
Yeah.
And Arjun,
Well, no, I should tell Shriya also now that because before we got pulled out of that press conference earlier for the other interview, I received the link, 4 screener links to the episodes, and I've just watched 2. And oh my God, all you guys are so so good. You're so good. Everyone, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away because you have to understand also, I play the victim of the virus in the show, and he's the one who's gone. So so I've not at all been aware of what these guys have been doing, and like the emotional graphs and the performances, I'm blown away completely. I'll be honest.
So excited.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching it. I was talking to Sanjay Kapoor a short while ago as well, and he was telling me how amazing it is. And of course, he's a veteran. So for him to see that kind of technology change to where he was in 1995, where he first started, to now is incredible. Shweta, do you want to come to you? Because I want to talk to you firstly about your character and in terms of the show and the kind of concept of it as well, and how it all kind of came about.
So I just something that Arjun said, that this happened during Masan, which was my first film. That when we started with the promotions, it was just so exhausting, and I was like, I didn't sign up for this. I am here to act. मुझसे जितनी acting करवा ली, I'll happily do it. But promotions, they are just very mentally and physically exhausting. But thankfully today, because we've been at home and we've been very comfortable. So that is the fun part. But one thing that I'm missing the most is meeting your co-actors and sipping on that coffee and then just doing it together. So this has been truly exciting, and I'm hoping that now sooner than later we'll get out and meet at least even on the group which is all the cast and crew. They're a part of the group, and I can sense it that everybody wants to do that success party.
So, especially now all the more, today when finally you see that, oh, here it is, and wow, what we've done is really cool, and then you really want to celebrate with people,
Correct.
I mean, that is the one thing that I'm very intrigued about, to see how you guys kind of interacted with each other. Putting the show together is one thing, but to see the final cut and to see how the characters are going to be interacting with each other is going to be something. Shriya, what would you say about that?
Thankfully, we did some readings and, had individual sessions with our director. And that really helped, because somewhere we also got a sense of each other's tone. And obviously, I've seen Arjun's work, Shweta's work. So since my interactions are mostly with them, I could almost hear them in my mind. I mean, not that I had them. Nikhil was giving the cues. But just because I followed their work, I think it didn't feel as distant. Initially in the earlier interview, Arjun mentioned something that really stayed with me about, the experience being a solitary one. That, you feel alone in certain moments when there's nothing but you and the director is on the laptop, and there's just this weird feeling of, where's that chaos? Where is all of that madness? So this real and real parallelly moving together has been a surreal experience, which is why I think for us to watch it will be exciting, because we truly did this in a spirit of curiosity, in a spirit of wanting to experiment. So we're happy to be part of something that is really genuinely attempting something different and new.
I mean, even like, I was, when I saw this Sanjay, sorry, I keep bringing him up, but there was a lot of interesting things we spoke about. But even the kind of line, when you're looking at the camera and you look at a certain character, because you're doing your scenes from home, you've got to make sure you are looking the right direction. So obviously when the final cut happens and the final edit happens, it's got to all look very continuous, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And for that, I mean, we would not be managing any of it if we didn't have the DOP, Piyush, and director Nikhil on the Zoom call with us at all times, keeping track of this stuff. We would never manage. We would not know where the hell to look,
But we didn't really have shots where, except one or two in the climax, we didn't really have shots where we were speaking to someone in the same space. So it was either on a phone or it was across a door.
Well, so, I had one scene with Prateek actually, which was meant to look like we were in the same physical space.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the same room, and they had to cheat. They had to cheat a little corner in my house as part of his kitchen, and it was just like, it's really been.
The only scene that I shot where it was actually with someone else was, we went to an office space, a sanitized office space towards the end of the third phase of the lockdown, I think, and we shot that. Right. But besides that, it's great that you actually did that, Arjun, because that would, I imagine, be complicated to pull off.
I mean, hats off only to Nikhil. I mean, it's obviously him who had to see, where in my house can they pull off that corner? Him and Piyush had to together. I had to take them on the recce and decide, So,
I mean, I know you mentioned Nikhil quite a few times, but who was filming you guys? I mean, who was holding the camera?
Well, I, very fortunate.
Lucky guy.
I'm very lucky that my neighbor and one of my closest friends is one of the best DOPs in India right now. His name is Jay Oza. He shot Gully Boy. And so, whenever I have some stuff to shoot, like an audition or something, he just comes over and does it for me.
Oh my God. I didn't believe you have Jay Oza shooting your auditions.
Yeah, no, very fortunate, I must say. So he was operating the camera here for me, and but he, under Piyush's guidance, of course, because Piyush had to, at the end of it, maintain the continuity for everything that was being shot in everyone's homes, Yeah.
Of course, we need to talk about the storyline itself. I mean, you mentioned also, Arjun, that you're going to be playing this COVID victim. So it's quite current in terms of what's going on. I know the whole story isn't about COVID, but there is like this certain element to it, which is going to take the story forward. Can you tell us a bit about your character, Arjun, and maybe the ladies as well? It'd be great to hear from you.
Well, my character is a very simple, straight guy. He's a banker. He's he's just trying to be a good husband, a good son, good brother, and there's really nothing special about him. I think that's pretty much the key line there, and he's pretty much defined by his relationships. That's really all I can say about him to you. Yeah.
Okay, Shweta, what would you say about your character?
I play the character of Amara Gujral, who is Sahil's younger sister. And God, I was going to say Sweetie. This is really confusing. Shriya's sister-in-law. Suhani, correct. Suhani's sister-in-law. What really attracted me to the script was what you were just saying, that it is so relevant, because it is definitely inspired from COVID and the lockdown. So what was exciting was that we didn't take forever for the script to come, and lockdown or no lockdown, I'm sure all of us would be on board for this. Matlab, aisa nahi hai that we didn't have any job, we didn't have any work during lockdown, but just the script and the concept was so exciting. And also the team, when I spoke, Arjun has worked with Nikhil before, but Shriya and I had not worked with Nikhil before. So, but just speaking to him, and when we made a pitch trailer first, which was presented to Voot. And I remember when we saw the trailer, we were just so excited that this is what we have managed to do during the lockdown. And then we went on to do the entire shoot. And which is why there's so much excitement right now, because it drops at 12 o'clock tonight. And so even understanding the character, which is Amara, generally what happens is, we have readings, you meet your co-actors, you sit with the director and the writer, and you figure everything out. You try to figure everything out. But here, you were just on your own. So no matter how many conversations and video calls you had with your co-actors and the director, there was, I think there was a lot that was found while being the character as well. And I've never had a real brother. So that entire journey, that something is happening to your brother, he's a patient, he's missing, you don't know what's happening with him. So that played a lot, and it wasn't the easiest, because there was anyway so much drama happening in the world as is, and then even in the story that was happening. So I think, and for the first time I have done a project, and I guess that is how a thriller works, where the agenda is that, because that is what you're trying to solve. Like, there is a game which you are playing. So I think that was a very different experience, because I did not, as a character, there wasn't a lot. My every waking moment was dedicated to finding out about my brother. So it was a very different experience. Like, if you ask me what is Amara's favorite color or what is her playlist, I don't know. So it was a very different way of, approaching, because the story, the concept was bigger than everything else.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear. I mean, I know that Voot have definitely kind of pulled out all the stops for this to make it relevant, and also, not just relevant, but also I think it's very current, as we keep saying, that people that relate to.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that, I've been struggling with this thought a little bit myself, because this is now the reality that we're living in. I think, like, there's a pre-corona era and there's a post-corona era now in the history of the world, and how do you, and now doing what we do, which is basically telling stories that reflect reality, how are we to continue to tell stories that reflect a reality that does not exist anymore? And I mean, at this point in time, if I'm sitting and writing something like a regular love story between two people who don't need to wear masks, suddenly it's inauthentic. I'm selling a fantasy. If I'm just telling the kind of story that I would have told a few months ago, and I guess art has to reflect the reality of the times we're living in. And that's, I think, Gone Game has basically is just the first to successfully do that.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's actually something that's going to maybe go down in history, because it is not only a show that's been filmed on mobile devices, but also it's actually based on the kind of AC era, the after Corona era. So yeah. Shriya, tell us about your character.
My character is a beauty and health influencer, and she's very popular, and her life is revolved around sharing and capturing every single moment, and she's very confident, she's ambitious. I think of her as the alpha male in her relationship with Sahil, and very often there's this underlying tension between the two, I would say, because Sahil is not always comfortable with the way his wife leads her life, but they're very much in love, and of course when tragedy strikes, and the whole family is trying to understand what's happened to Sahil, Sohani gets affected in a very, very bad way. And somewhere, you also end up seeing certain elements of human behavior and how that has been affected with the pandemic, so in terms of how are we sharing grief? How are we talking about loss at a time like this? Because I can't meet people. So how am I expressing what I feel? It's all through social media. Then sometimes some people judge you for it, some people don't. So with every character on the show, the writers have tried to incorporate some elements that might be relatable, because we've seen all kinds of people
facing all kind of conflicts.
Yes, during this time. So I think the show, at least the show, has attempted to address much more than just solving a mystery.
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting. Like I said, I wish we had Voot Select in the UK. We haven't got Voot Select, but we've been sent the links, so it'd be great to kind of see it. I want to also know about, we spoke about challenges anyway, about filming the show, but what would you say about the kind of dubbing element and the kind of post-production work? How did that all work?
Anyone else?
I am not a fan of dubbing ever. I just don't like dubbing. So when I got to know that we might have to dub from home, I was not happy at all, because dubbing is not easy. And when you have to do it on your own, then just to match that pitch, to match that emotion, it's not easy for me. So I went to a dubbing studio to dub. But I think Arjun and Shriya, you guys dubbed from home?
Yeah, I dubbed from...
I also went to the office, not to a studio, but I went to the office to dub.
Right. I had someone come home with his laptop and do my dub at home. It was, it was okay. I don't, like Shweta said, I don't enjoy dubbing. But I understand this was completely, it was, being shot at home. It was not a very controlled location, and a lot of noise that needed to be addressed. And so it was okay.
Yeah,
but they've kept a lot of original sound, which I was very happy about.
Yeah, they have. And this show, is a very post-heavy show. There is a lot of graphics work. It's, just by virtue of the way that it's been made, completely dependent on the edit, obviously. And from what I've seen, like, the background score is really, really making the show as well.
Yeah.
And so, hats off to the post-production team as well, as actors. Like I said, we do our bits, it's, in an isolated manner and send it. And what they've done with it is the impressive part,
On one of the days, I actually found myself like sending a prayer to all the departments. I just thought of my team, and I just like thought to myself that I hope they all realize how important they are, because actors are just put on some pedestal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I sent a message to my team, and I just to my spot dada, he was at his village, and I just sent him a voice note saying that I miss you. So it's insane how although these things, when you're actually doing it, you realize that for your one shot to go perfectly, there are so many elements that fall into place.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do take things for granted, don't we? And that's the thing that's made us realize, during this period, I think a lot of people have realized how, even doing the normal things about meeting people, we take things for granted. We should be spending a lot more time with loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's...
So, okay, guys. Okay, we've done enough about Gone Game. We know that Gone Game is going to be on Voot Select. We'll talk about it. In fact, it's going to be in a few hours in India. We've still got a few hours here. Actually, about 3 hours in India. We've got about 6 hours here in the UK. So, yeah, I want to talk to each of you about your other kind of work. Arjun, you have done some brilliant work. I mean, all three of you. But I do want to talk about Made in Heaven. Is Made in Heaven season 2 coming out? I mean, there's been a lot of rumors that it's being shelved. Tell us. You can also chip in as well.
Well, I know that we had complete scripts for season 2, and we were going into pre-production, and we were supposed to start shooting in the month of May, but this happened, and so So I think, I mean, just like everyone else, I think everyone was just took a pause and was reconsidering decisions and such. So I don't know, honestly speaking, as of now, just like anyone else, I don't know when it will happen. I don't know if it will happen. I know that somewhere there are 8 complete scripts, and but let's see. The thing is, it's also so hard. It's like it's a show about weddings, and now you can't even we're not even supposed to stand close to each other. How are we going to shoot weddings? Who knows? So let's see. Fingers crossed. I'm as in the dark as you are.
I mean, Arjun, I do want to talk about your character, because from Made in Heaven, you attracted quite a massive fan base. I mean, obviously, we know that the kind of character you played, has opened up also, this kind of subject about homosexuality in India and also globally amongst Asians. What would you say about your new fan base?
What would I say about them?
About the new fan base that you have attracted, and that have also, you kind of helped them as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that Made in Heaven, like the kind of recognition that came to me is not at all that like crazy, like wow, like super fan kind of recognition, like not a hysteria kind of recognition. Of course, it's like it was a very personal, like a lot of personal stories and personal messages coming to me in my inbox, honestly, about literally how this show or my character has like changed their lives. Like this one lady wrote to me, and she was the mother of 2 young boys, and she said that I never had anything against homosexuality, but I never kind of understood much about it either. And after watching this show, I have to say that if one or both of my kids grew up to be gay, I'm gonna love them and support them, and even more. And I was just like, these are the, I mean, if you're, as an artist, as any kind of artist, if your work is able to touch even one person in that way, I think that's what we live for, to be honest, other than all the frills. But that's what we really live for,
Yeah.
But it is great. But it is great that subjects like this are being spoken about, especially amongst Asians and global audiences. A great thing. So I'm glad that Made in Heaven season 1 was such a grand success. So well done to you, Arjun. I also, Shweta, I want to talk to you as well, because I know that Mirzapur, you also did Made in Heaven as well, and you've also worked with Voot before with the legal. So you're coming back home in a way to Voot Select with the Gone Game. Your journey's been colourful as well. What do you say?
It's actually what Arjun said. So earlier, when I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer because I wanted to change the society in whatever way possible. And now I feel that as an artist, as an actor, if I can do that, I think my power is, I'm not comparing law with acting, but I'm just saying your reach is much more. And with the kind of subjects and the kind of projects that we do, we can actually somewhere make a difference. And if he managed to do that, that is the beauty. Like those personal messages to him, I think are more important than any award, more important than any like that validation that you've changed somebody's thinking. I think that is beautiful. Like I'm feeling so happy for him that his character has managed to do that. So I can't even imagine what he felt. So I think that's always the aim with, I think I'm speaking on behalf of the 3 of us, that we want to bring about a change however possible, which was one reason to do even the Gone Game, because during lockdown, we knew it would be challenging, it would be difficult, not only for us, but even with the people that we live with. But you keep pushing the boundaries, and also I just realized my name is Goludi on this, and that is thanks to Mirzapur. Yeah. So Mirzapur, in another 4-5 days, they're going to announce the date by the same makers of Made in Heaven. So it is exciting, and season 2 is. It just makes me smile.
I can't wait. Personally, I cannot wait for it. I loved the show. I loved both of you, man. It was too good.
Yeah, but you will love this one even more because there's much more gravity, the drama.
And it's like a whole new world. It's I mean, season 2 feels like a whole different universe.
Oh, that's so exciting! I'm so excited about that. Shreya, I also want to talk to you because you also had international success with Beecham House, which was massive here in the UK, ITV1, and it was obviously a mainstream show on Sunday nights here. And beside that, we know that obviously Mirzapur and everything else you've done as well. So tell us about your kind of journey, and how would you describe it, and about this new digital audience that you've kind of grabbed with with your projects.
I mean, I've always wanted to work in different film industries and in different languages. For me, Hindi films was not the end goal. So the fact that I'm able to sort of do a Tamil, Telugu film now, I started with Marathi, then I did a French film. So for me, I was never insecure about the length of my role, which is why I was able to make choices without any fear, because I knew that being part of stories that I enjoyed was priority. And of course, you want to headline projects. That would always be the aim. But even if that might not happen often, the priority will always be to be part of versatile and diverse storytelling. And in that sense, I've also wanted to work internationally, and being part of Gurinder Chadda's Beecham House was a huge experience for me, just on the basis of the diversity of the cast, in terms of people from all over the world being there, to understand their perspective. History is taught differently to every country, to every culture, and to understand their interpretation of portraying the East India Company, for example. That was a very interesting experience. And at the end of working in these different industries, I realized that language never comes in the way. The passion for cinema is something that breaks through all of these challenges of language, etc. So I'm happy that I have the opportunity to balance film work and series. And I give the credit to Mirzapur for somewhere changing the momentum of my career, because even though my first Hindi film was with opposite Shah Rukh Khan, it was Mirzapur that I would say got me noticed and helped me be recognized by a character. So now my next challenge is, what do I give people where they see another character? Because for now I'm only sweetie. So
it's funny. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I was just saying that it's really funny, how we think that we need to do some kind of thing to get where we want to be or need to be, and it's never that takes us there. It's always something else. It's crazy.
Yeah. And this validation for me, success is not the number of Instagram followers I have, and the more we talk about it, the more even a lot of, young artists will understand that instead of focusing on how should I increase my followers, the focus needs to go back onto their craft.
Yeah. I agree completely, Shreya. I think that's a brilliant way to end the interview. I think it's so true. I think it's all about perception, isn't it? People have, you must have like 6 million followers or whatever it is, 20 million followers, and you must be the biggest star, or you must be the best actor, but not always the case, is it? I know that a lot of people have brought this subject up many a times. I just want to say thank you very much, three of you. It has been so fascinating talking to you, all three of you. Successes in your own right. I wish you all the best with everything that you do, and of course the Gone Game, which is going to be launching on Voot Select tomorrow, as in the 20th of August. Thank you so much. Any final message you want to say to all your fans out there? Arjun, maybe first, and then Shweta, and then you, Shreya?
Well, just everybody, please watch our show, support our show. If, since there's all this talk about like justice in the industry and all, this is the kind of work that needs, that this is the kind of work that needs your support. So put your money where your mouth is and enjoy.
Shweta, what would you like to say?
this has been a very exciting experience for all of us. And as you can make out, we are so excited to see the show ourselves. And that is, everybody's biased towards their own work, I'm pretty sure. But this, we promise you, we have given it our all, from our effort to our bed sheets to, we've got everybody into our homes. So please do watch it, give it a chance. It's just 4 episodes, and let us know what do you think.
Yeah.
Shreya?
I would just say that we literally welcomed you into our homes. So we would like you to welcome us into yours.
That's quite true.
Cheesy, on that cheesy note.
Very cheesy, very cheesy.
But it's
Thank
true.
you.
It's true.
That's very cheesy, but it's so true. It's all about, we're going to be into your houses, and we're going to first, I think that's always an interesting thing, isn't it? And quite nosy for human behavior. So it'd be great to see you guys there. But I just want to say thank you very much, guys. Wish you all the best with the Gone game.
Thank you.
Very, very
Thank
soon
you
again.
so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.